We're so glad that you're here. Listen, if you're looking for a book that's uplifting, but makes you think, makes you dig deep, makes you kind of wonder, who are you serving? Who are you truly serving? You're going to love my next author. Her name is Madelyn S. Palmer. She wrote a book called Matthew's Redemption. It is part of a series, and we're going to welcome Madelyn right now. Glad that you're here, Madelyn.
Thank you, Suzanne. It's an honor to be here with you.
Well, let's first talk about the fact that it's part of a series. How does Matthew's Redemption fit into this?
Matthew's Redemption is the third book in the Land of Sterling series. The first book is Eleanor's Choice, a story about his mother choosing between suitors. Amber's Dilemma, his older sister dealing with bully issues and peer pressure. And Matthew's Redemption, ooh, the title is a little bit presumptuous, I think, but it fit the experience he had as an 18-year-old trying to figure out what to do with his life, and experiencing things out in the real world that he has not seen before, and trying to figure out is there a way to keep his values as he
Hmm.
faces these experiences.
I think anybody who has sons goes, the
Yes,
unknown, that unknown territory that sons are traveling and how much they change and what they still have to learn. Um, when you
absolutely.
when you write these novels, you're writing for specific questions. Is that
I
right?
do, I do. So the first story is okay, in the fairy tales, the right suitor comes along, everything works out. But what if the wrong suitor happens? What if life throws a kink into your plans and you have to figure out what to do with them?
Well, that never happens, right?
All the time. And so I really want to address real life experiences and so every question I write, every book I write is answering a question. How do you deal with bully issues and peer pressure? Um, how do you find God in your life?
And that's kind of Matthew's Redemption. That's what that focuses on, right?
Yes, that is certainly included in that. Hmm.
Yeah. So, one of the important points is that you really develop characters and you explore the characters. You start out, but they really expand and grow. I want you to kind of expound on that a little bit, but do you know where they're going to go from the very beginning, or do you
I
grow with
don't.
the character?
I have a little bit of an outline and an idea where this character is going to go. And then really I'm inspired each morning as I write a little bit, what's going to happen that day, what's going to happen with the situation. Um, Characters kind of have take on meaning as I go through. I didn't realize till the end of my first book how fun I was going to have with Eleanor's character, and being able to I wanted to explore her further, but it seemed to work out better by telling each of her children's stories. And the fourth book that I'm writing, Stephanie's Unexpected Journey, is the youngest sister who now gets to take care of her aging mother with
Mm.
Alzheimer's. So, in my practice in the medical field, I work with a lot of people who are dealing with having to care for aging parents. And so that's what I'm exploring in my fourth book.
Hmm. You seem to have a general way of sharing life values in all your books. Would you
Yes.
talk about that?
Coming from a Christian background, I feel very strongly that God has guided me in my creative writing. I am dedicating my writing to serve Him. And
Mm.
some of that is just, I think, helping people find connection to a higher spiritual plane, but also realize that the good values in their lives um, can be followed and can become an important part of who they are and how they solve problems. In Matthew's Redemption, one of the themes that I discovered is his heading out to the world. His parents tell him, "Be true to the royal inside of you." Well, what makes a
Hmm.
prince out in the real world? It's staying true to those standards that you believe in, having integrity in all your actions, even if it looks like that could put you in trouble. Um, I think God helps us find the solutions and work it out right in the end.
It's interesting because with Matthew, he has all the goodness of worldly materials, more
Hmm.
than us average people could ever dream of. And for him to make a decision of who he's gonna follow, which king, which world he's gonna choose, and that makes me curious, you know? It would be
Yes.
so easy just to choose the worldly possessions, but when you say about digging deep, yeah, there's a lot underneath there. Um, it's not heavy though. There's a lot of humor to your book. There's a lot of symbolism and
Yes.
it's all very relatable. How do you meld all of those so well?
I like telling stories, so I think some of it is, all right, what tells a good story? Let's get some action moments, but let's get some sensitive moments. And then I love the romance, and the humor comes with the knights of the kingdom are all named after automobiles, and the horses in the story come from our family ranch, and the horses that we've had over the years. I've reused those names so that they live on in memory. But
Mm.
a lot of it is really coming from personal life experiences and in me and my family and friends as I watch. I like to be an observer of people and character and understand what makes people do the things they do and what motivates them.
So all these books kind of started with the matriarch of Eleanor.
Hmm.
Are you Eleanor? Where did she come from?
I I think there is a part of Eleanor in me. I grew up, my father, I think I was his only daughter, and so I felt like I was a little bit of a
Oh.
princess. I wanted to be a princess, and now have 4 sons, so I'm kind of the queen of our household, if you will, now. But I still
Hmm.
like to work and be active in life, and uh, I've grown my hair out long so I could be Eleanor at book signings.
I love it. Specifically with Matthew's redemption, what do people say their reaction is when they're done reading it? What generally do they feel?
I think they've enjoyed the story and the journey. I think it's made them think a little bit. They're hungry for more. When's your next
Mhm.
book going to come out?
Mhm.
I'm working 100 hours a week. I have 10 minutes every morning to write a little
Oh
bit.
my goodness.
That's what you get in a doctor's life. You see patients for 40 hours and then you have to do your
Wow.
homework outside of it.
Wow. So you had mentioned the 4th book. Is that the end of the series?
That so far I think that will be the end of the series, and then I want to focus on the next book I want to finish is Jonah's Gourd, the prophet Jonah. I want to find out the pre-story and explore why he was more interested in saving this gourd plant than the city of Nineveh.
Ah,
Came from my
interesting.
Bible study group.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of pride. Yeah. Interesting. We'll have to revisit that. You know, we've got just a few seconds left. I
Okay,
would love for you to give just a piece of advice to people who have a story in their mind who are afraid to make that leap and that jump into actually writing.
just write it out. Just write it out. I have a few early stories that are a little rough or a little childish, if you will, but it got me finishing stories. And if there's a story inside of you, let it out. I think that's, um, we all need to create. And that creativity, I think, is God's gift to us and a way of furthering his purposes in the world as well.
I love it. And tell us where your book is available.
Trafford is the company that I published with. It's also available on Barnes and Noble and Amazon, and hopefully we'll get them out in other places as well.
Thank you very much, Madeline. You are represented by Maple Leaf Pub. Is that correct?
They're the one that's sponsored our interview today. Yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your
Thank you,
time. Good
Suzanne.
luck on that next book.
Thank you. Enjoyed being here.